My beloved child, something powerful is happening behind the scenes right now, and even though your eyes cannot fully see it yet, your spirit has already started feeling the shift, because someone somewhere is secretly guiding your soulmate back toward you, and this connection is no longer moving by accident, because divine timing has entered the story in a way that cannot be stopped anymore. And what makes this moment even more emotional is that your soulmate does not fully understand why your name keeps echoing inside their heart every single day, because they tried distracting themselves, they tried focusing on other people, they tried pretending the connection faded away, but no matter how far they mentally run, something invisible keeps pulling them back toward you like a force stronger than logic and stronger than fear. And recently this became impossible for them to ignore, because signs started appearing everywhere around them at the exact moments they tried forgetting you. And these signs were not random, because somebody close to them unknowingly became part of this divine guidance, and now conversations about love, healing, commitment, and true connection keep leading them directly back to thoughts of you without them expecting it. And every time they hear certain words, see certain places, or remember certain memories, their heart suddenly softens in ways they cannot explain, because the universe has quietly started rebuilding the emotional bridge between both of you. And even when silence existed between you, energy was still moving in the background, preparing the reunion that is now getting closer than ever before. And your soulmate recently had moments late at night where they sat completely still, thinking about everything they lost when they distanced themselves from you, because deep inside they now realize nobody else ever touched their soul the way you did. And this realization shocked them more than they expected, because they once believed time would erase these feelings, but instead time only made your presence stronger inside them. And now they feel emotionally cornered by truth, because the harder they try denying the connection, the louder their soul speaks your name. And listen carefully now, because there is another layer to this story that you truly need to understand, because someone around your soulmate has quietly become a messenger without even realizing it, and through random advice, emotional conversations, spiritual discussions, relationship stories, and unexpected comments, this person keeps planting seeds inside your soulmate's mind that are slowly awakening them to the truth about you. And at first your soulmate ignored these moments, but recently they started noticing strange patterns, because every discussion somehow circles back to the kind of love they once felt with you. And now it is becoming impossible for them to separate their future from thoughts of your presence, because the universe keeps sending reminders through people, situations, songs, memories, dreams, and emotional triggers that reopen feelings they tried burying. And what is even more powerful is that your soulmate has secretly started comparing everybody to you without admitting it aloud, because nobody makes them feel emotionally safe the way you did, and nobody understands the deepest parts of them the way you naturally could. And this truth has become emotionally overwhelming for them, especially during quiet moments when they are alone with their thoughts, because their soul is finally forcing them to confront emotions they delayed for far too long. And do not skip this part, because something extremely important happened recently in their energy field, and it completely changed the direction of this connection, because your soulmate started feeling emotionally empty around the people and environments that once distracted them. And suddenly the excitement they once felt around temporary attention disappeared, because their hearts started craving something real, peaceful, and emotionally meaningful, and that craving led them straight back to the emotional memory of you because your energy carried a kind of warmth they cannot replace, and now even small reminders of you create emotional waves inside them that they struggle hiding from others, and someone close to them noticed this shift because your soulmate became quieter, more reflective, more emotional, and more disconnected from fake situations. And during one conversation, this person unknowingly said exactly what your soulmate needed to hear, because they mentioned that real love rarely disappears completely when two souls are truly meant for each other. And the moment those words entered your soulmate's ears, something inside them froze, because deep down they immediately thought about you, and ever since then your soulmate has been secretly replaying memories they once tried avoiding, because the universe is guiding them toward emotional honesty whether they are ready or not. And lately your soulmate has started questioning why they still feel your energy so strongly after everything that happened, because they cannot explain why your presence still comforts them from a distance, and why thoughts of you suddenly appear during emotional moments. And even more shocking, they recently started feeling your absence more intensely than before, because the emotional bond between both of you never truly broke. It only went silent for a while so healing could happen, and now that healing phase is slowly ending because divine movement has already started, and somebody behind the scenes is unknowingly helping guide this person back into alignment with you through conversations, encouragement, emotional support, and moments of truth that are opening your soulmate's eyes little by little. And the more they awaken emotionally, the harder it becomes for them to resist reconnecting, because their soul feels tired of pretending and exhausted from emotional confusion. And recently, they even caught themselves imagining what life would look like if they finally returned to you honestly and fully, because part of them no longer wants temporary connections or emotional games anymore. And this emotional maturity is happening because the universe has been teaching them painful lessons while you were apart, and every disappointment they experienced away from you only made them realize how rare your connection actually was. And now your soulmate secretly fears losing you forever, because they feel the energetic distance changing, and they know deep down that if they wait too long, they could miss the chance to rebuild what once existed between both of you. And this fear is becoming stronger every day because the universe is placing urgency inside their heart, and suddenly they feel like time is moving faster than before. And listen carefully, because your soulmate is also beginning to understand that you changed them emotionally in ways nobody else ever did, because after meeting you, they could never return to shallow love again. And now every fake connection feels emotionally draining compared to what they felt with you. And even though pride, fear, confusion, or past wounds once kept them distant, those walls are slowly collapsing because divine energy has started softening their heart at the deepest level, and someone around them continues unknowingly guiding this transformation forward, because every emotional discussion pushes your soulmate closer to self-awareness and closer to realizing who truly belongs in their heart. And recently there were moments where your soulmate almost reached out to you but stopped at the last second because fear still exists inside them. Yet even though hesitation remains, the emotional pressure inside their soul is growing stronger than the fear itself, and eventually truth becomes impossible to silence forever, because real connections always return to the surface no matter how deeply they were buried. And what your soulmate feels for you is no longer temporary attraction because this connection has entered spiritual territory where separation itself becomes painful, and every day they spend away from you now feels heavier emotionally because their soul recognizes home when it thinks about you, and that realization has changed everything inside them, and secretly your soulmate has started looking for signs that you still care because part of them hopes the door between you has not fully closed yet, and whenever they sense even the smallest energetic reminder of you, their heart immediately reacts because despite everything, the emotional cord connecting both of you is still alive and growing stronger, and the person unknowingly guiding your soulmate back toward you recently said something that deeply affected them emotionally because they talked about how some people enter your life only once, and if you lose them through fear or ego, regret follows for years, and those words hit your soulmate harder than anybody realized. Because instantly they thought about the possibility of losing you forever, and since that moment they have not been able to fully escape thoughts about reconnecting with you because now they understand this connection was never ordinary, and the universe is no longer allowing them to hide from that truth. And listen carefully now, because there are also spiritual forces moving around this situation in ways you cannot fully see because your soulmate has started experiencing emotional synchronicities that keep bringing your energy into their daily life unexpectedly, and these moments are happening too frequently to ignore because songs connected to you appear randomly, memories surface at emotional times, dreams about you become more vivid, and even strangers unknowingly say things that remind them of your connection, and all these signs are slowly breaking down the emotional resistance inside them because divine timing has decided it is time for awakening, and your soulmate feels it even if they cannot fully explain it aloud. And do not skip this next truth, because someone secretly admires the connection between both of you more than you realize, and this person has quietly been encouraging your soulmate to stop running from real emotions because they see how deeply you impacted them, and even though they may not directly say your name every time, their advice constantly leads your soulmate back toward thoughts of you, and now your soulmate is emotionally exhausted from fighting what their soul already knows, because the universe has created too many moments of realization for them to keep denying the connection. And lately they have been thinking about the past differently, because instead of focusing only on mistakes, they now remember the comfort, safety, laughter, emotional depth, and genuine love they experienced with you. And this emotional shift is extremely important because it means healing has finally begun inside them, and once healing begins, reconciliation energy grows stronger very quickly because the heart starts craving authenticity again, and your soulmate no longer wants distractions that leave them emotionally empty, because after experiencing your energy, shallow situations can never satisfy them completely again. And recently they even started opening up emotionally in ways they normally avoid, because deep inside they know they cannot continue living disconnected from what their soul truly wants. And the closer they move toward emotional honesty, the stronger the universe pushes them back toward you. And there are moments now where your soulmate feels your energy so intensely that it almost scares them, because they realize this bond survived distance, silence, confusion, and time itself, and not every connection survives those things, which is exactly why this one feels different. And somebody close to them recently noticed the emotional conflict inside your soulmate and gently encouraged them not to let fear ruin something meaningful. And those Words stayed inside their mind for days because deep down they know fear already stole enough time from both of you, and now they secretly wonder if destiny is giving them another chance before it becomes too late. And listen carefully, because your soulmate has started changing internally in ways you may not fully see yet, because they are becoming more emotionally aware, more spiritually sensitive, and more open to vulnerability than before. And this transformation happened because separation forced them to confront parts of themselves they once ignored, and through that painful growth, they slowly began understanding the depth of what you truly meant to them. And now every path emotionally leads back toward you, because the universe has made your presence unforgettable inside their spirit. And even when they try focusing elsewhere, something always redirects their heart toward thoughts of you again and again and again, because your connection was written into their soul long before either of you fully understood it. And the closer divine timing gets to reunion, the more restless your soulmate becomes emotionally, because part of them feels something major approaching, and they cannot shake the feeling that life is preparing to reconnect both of you somehow. And lately they have been replaying old conversations, old memories, and emotional moments between you with new understanding, because wisdom has finally replaced emotional immaturity, and now they see the connection more clearly than ever before. And this clarity is becoming impossible for them to ignore, because every emotional lesson the universe taught them eventually pointed back toward the love they experienced with you. And somebody behind the scenes continues unknowingly helping this realization grow stronger, because every meaningful conversation pushes your soulmate closer to accepting what their heart already knows. And now even their dreams are becoming emotionally intense, because your energy keeps appearing during vulnerable moments when their soul is most open. And these dreams leave them emotional long after waking up, because the spiritual bond between both of you remains active beyond physical distance. And your soulmate secretly wonders whether you can still feel them too, because the emotional pull has become undeniable. And recently they caught themselves smiling unexpectedly while thinking about you, and that moment shocked them, because it reminded them that despite everything, your energy still brings peace into their heart naturally. And that realization softened something deep inside them, because they finally understood that love connected to peace is rare and worth fighting for. And now the universe is slowly removing the final emotional barriers that kept this reunion delayed, because your soulmate can no longer pretend this connection meant nothing. And the more they awaken, the stronger their desire to move toward you becomes. And even though fear still whispers inside them sometimes, their soul has become louder than their fear. And that changes everything, because once the soul takes control, destiny begins moving quickly, and what once felt impossible suddenly becomes real. And your soulmate is now closer than ever to admitting what their heart has secretly known for a very long time, that no matter where life takes them, no matter who enters or leaves, no matter how much time passes, a part of them has always belonged with you, and somebody somewhere is helping guide them back toward that truth every single day, without even realizing the powerful role they are playing in your story. Because divine timing often works through ordinary people, unexpected conversations, emotional awakenings, and quiet moments that slowly transform the heart from within, until eventually the soul can no longer resist the love it was truly created to return to. Do not skip this part, because the truth became even deeper when your soulmate recently started realizing that every emotional road they travel somehow brings them back to you again and again. And now they secretly wonder if the universe has been protecting this connection the entire time while both of you were growing separately. And listen carefully, because someone around them recently mentioned that true love does not disappear even after distance, silence, or confusion, and those words stayed trapped inside your soulmate's mind for days because instantly they remembered your energy. Your soulmate has started feeling emotionally restless lately because their heart no longer feels comfortable pretending they moved on completely when deep inside your presence still lives within them stronger than ever before. But secretly, they now compare every conversation, every connection, and every emotional experience to the peace they once felt with you, and nobody has been able to replace that feeling inside their soul. There were nights recently when your soulmate stayed awake thinking about what could happen if they finally stopped running from this connection and allowed themselves to return honestly and fully toward you. And the shocking part is that even small signs connected to you suddenly affect their emotions deeply now because divine timing is opening their heart wider every single day. Someone unknowingly guiding them recently talked about regret and how painful it becomes when people lose the one person who truly understood them, and those words hit your soulmate harder than anybody realized. Now they secretly fear waiting too long because deep down they feel your energy changing and they know this connection cannot stay hidden forever anymore. Listen carefully now, because your soulmate has also started noticing strange synchronicities appearing almost daily, and every sign somehow leads their thoughts directly back toward you. Songs, memories, dreams, random conversations, and emotional triggers keep reopening feelings they once tried burying, but the universe is no longer allowing them to escape what their soul truly wants. And slowly, your soulmate is becoming emotionally softer, spiritually wiser, and more willing to face the truth about this connection than ever before. They are beginning to understand that meeting you changed their life permanently and that no temporary distraction can erase what their soul experienced with you. But wait, because recently they almost reached out emotionally, and even though fear stopped them for a moment, the desire to reconnect continues growing stronger inside their heart every single day. Your soulmate now feels that something important is approaching quickly, almost as if destiny itself is preparing to bring both of you closer again after all this emotional distance. And the closer this reunion energy comes, the harder it becomes for them to ignore your name, your memories, and the emotional comfort attached to your presence. Someone around them continues unknowingly pushing them toward emotional honesty through simple advice, deep conversations, and reminders about real love that keep awakening their heart. Now your soulmate secretly wonders if the universe is giving them one final chance to return toward the person their soul never truly stopped loving. And deep inside, they already know the answer because every emotional lesson, every painful separation, and every lonely moment eventually led them back toward thoughts of you again. Listen carefully, my beloved child, because the universe does not keep pulling two souls together this strongly without a reason, and what is meant for your spirit will always find its way back no matter how much time passes. The reunion energy surrounding this connection is growing stronger now, and very soon your soulmate may no longer be able to hide the truth their heart has been carrying about you all along.